Hi everyone, you're watching Jana FX, and in this video I'm going to make technical analysis for the coming week. But first of all, let me introduce the sponsor of this video, simplefx.com, which offers Forex and cryptocurrency CFDs trading. You can see this site right now on my screen, and the links to simplefx.com you can find in the description under this video. Okay, starting with euro dollar as usual, and this is for our chart and looking on the bigger picture. Previously I was expecting we were here, that was our week for a euro dollar go and create a double top. So it was a bit of the sign, a possible changing trend, maybe changing direction, because it's been going in the uptrend for a while. So it didn't even reach the previous top. So, and for this week it stayed just in a very narrow range. So for me, for example, it would be no trades at all because it didn't give me anything. So for this coming week, possibility would be, of course, so now you can see instead of double top, it kind of created like a bit of a triangle. I have this new level and the previous level here. You can see we have two tops and two bottoms now, but also because of these little wings, you can see I could draw another level. So it's kind of showing a downtrend a bit, right? So downtrend, but still inside the uptrend channel. So that blue level, you can see it didn't get to it and didn't break it. It's not anywhere near it just yet. So for this week, of course, once again, don't forget to check economic calendar. There will be news, so make notes, and especially also there will be news for American dollars expected. Some comments and commentary and conference will be there, so remember about it. But also will be European news before that. So I would see, because you see how this week euro was not trying to make big movements and didn't want to continue the uptrend, so I would wait for it to go into this area. So that would be my first thing, to see if it will narrow down around this area. So first I would see it's around here. Possibly it can break a little bit this level, maybe get to that blue, and even maybe with the wings it might try to get out. But for the better picture, for the best, I would see it around here, and I would be placing the pending orders. If it will get in here, it would consolidate around this area, then it would be pending orders buy and sell. And with the next movement to, if for example it will go up, so I would see it to this top. I'm not drawing right now this level, just bear in mind this top. For example, not going straight to the blue level of the uptrend channel. You can see it's because it's a bit far away, so it might not go in one go. So would expect if it will go up. So first see that top and then possibly see, because about 300 pips to reach to that level. So that's why I would see it, this even maybe that little one 60 pips up, and then step by step go to this about 120 pips up. And at the same time, if we go for a sell order and it will go down, so it depends around this area, maybe a little bit down here. So we have about, we see about 100 pips also. So could be quite good movement. So this is how I would look at euro dollar for this coming week. And of course, again, going to any of those levels, waiting for a slowing down and any consolidations, and then again placing the both orders, both directions orders. And then there would be the next level would be for the downtrend, this important level, and for the uptrend it would be the channel trend level. So easy with euro dollar. Now we're going to pound dollar, and let's see possible trades this week. So this is what we had. I have this very thick lines. This would have been the levels where I would probably place the pending orders. So, but let's just see it first. This was the previous week. You see it was a bit of consolidation, and with this the other week we just finished. That's what I was saying when the market came here. I said I would rather see it go to one or another level. And even though I could draw this one by using, because it's created a little bit of consolidation around here, so I could create one level and another level. So because that was Monday, I wouldn't go for any trades, but you can see in here on Tuesday, it's created this little channel, and that was a very good signal for going for trade for me. So why, but I'm saying, showing to you. Now look at 4-hour chart. So we have a few signals for a good trade. You see that one level, it was previously from the previous weeks, and market stopped around here before it's broken. Then I had another level here, you see, from that consolidation of the downtrend, and also inside it on the smaller chart, that's what I do really like. On the smaller chart, it's created also this little channel, and even if you will go on the 15-minute chart, it would be even better. You can see you see now, you see also a very little one around the important levels. So we had 2 important levels and also a little channel. So it's like 3 signals were telling us that I would go for pending orders, would be a very good move. And also it's before the European UK session. So just perfect timing, and would have been also both directions for buy and sell. Buy would have been go to the next level again here, and sell went down. It's a very good 100 pips drop, you can see. So it's very clean 100 pips drop. So probably at least 80 pips easy to come out from this trade. And that's it for the rest of the week. You can see it's also had a bit of consolidation, but didn't go down. Had a little bit went up, but then it's started to move a little bit chaotic, I would say. Didn't create anything good, and so I could create put it into this channel. You can see here, so it's a drop and correction, but it's very wide. You can see it's very wide. And again, for me, when I do create something like that, I wait for the market to create any channels around those levels, just like I did here. You see, just trying to explain the point, how to get. So if it goes there, for example, I wouldn't go just like for sell or buy, because it didn't give me anything. For example, here it didn't give me anything here, so it moved. And for example, in this one, for some possibly some of you might go into this trade, so it's broken, so you could get into the trade, and probably some of you might be in a floating at this moment, maybe floating loss or break even, depends. But for me, for example, it wouldn't be in a good one. So also Friday, I don't usually go for trades on Friday if there are no news, good news, and also it didn't create anything. So for this coming week, I'm leaving these levels. I don't need any of those big levels. Okay, I'll remove them later so you can see them afterwards, but I would leave these ones. And with, again, upcoming news, especially for dollar, there will be some news for pound. So I would see how it create, again, some consolidation around, for example, this level. So right now, as it broke a little bit, come out, it can, with the opening week, it can come and get to this first. Maybe it will create some consolidation here around this level. That's how I would prefer. Better again for me. And again, before the news event, also to see if it will still sit in this channel and create something, again, some nice channels inside around those levels. So if it will break before any news, any good news, so I would see if it will go to next level, and if it will go down to this next level. So, and then create any consolidation around those areas. So technically, of course, it's at this moment it's continued the way down for a pound dollar. You can see on the daily chart, so it's looking very promising. So possible consolidation go down to this area and continue its way down. It's and showing it's inside downtrend channel. But I'm saying anything can happen, so I would just wait for any consolidations and opportunities to go for trades. So I'm leaving the levels here. Okay, going to Australian dollar, and we are again, let's go to 1 hour chart and see what we do have here. For me personally, wouldn't be trades this week, but the possibilities were, you see, okay, let's go on daily chart. Remember when I was telling you that it was more looking like we had a little shoulder, we had a bit of the head, and I was saying it's possibly it will be creating another shoulder. And it's exactly what it did. It did create it, but it had a bit of the false breakouts. And here you can see we had a week before, and this previous week also we had a broke. It went up, it didn't create a shoulder, so I would have expected to create shoulder first and then go back and possibly continue inside, but no, it went. So you could possibly use this level. Personally, I wouldn't go, wouldn't be no trades for me, because it's broke once and went up and then back into this again. So it's a possibility again. Monday no good for me. So, and on the way back, it has this level and had that level, and expecting that is a possible going to be shoulder, then it could have been a risky, again, another risky opportunity to try to go for this trade. So personally, again, I wouldn't. So, but this is how it worked out. So it did created the shoulder now, and of course, again, technically more looking like a head, a shoulder, head, and another shoulder. So not very nice one with the broken a little bit neck. So I still have the neck area here, and again, I don't need this big level, but so I'm going to turn it, remove it. So we have this neck area, and so this also on a smaller chart, you see, well, for our chart, it's looking like a double top inside. So we have one big pattern, and there is another a bit smaller pattern on the shoulder, right? So it does look like possibly a double shoulder. So personally, I would wait again for go a little bit further to this level, and then have a consolidation around this area, and of course, again, creating both orders, going up and going down, because even though it's double, like twice a double indication that it possibly will continue downtrend, but at the same time could be anything. So I would wait for it to consolidate around this level and placing the order. So if it will not go to that level, then I would wait for going back to the neck area, right, of this panel. Possibly the correct panel, and then create any consolidation around this area. So then I would place orders from that level. So, and again, the same, if it will break, if it will just continue and jump up there, then I will wait to see what is going to be creating around here. It's quite big distances, so on the smaller charts it's a bit too far. I would probably more expecting it still going to sit around this area, so before it will continue to any of those bigger levels, let's say, because that one is also small, not very much from here, so that's why it would be better to wait for it to come to the shoulders level. So that's how I would see. And again, for American news, it might just sit around this area. I would think maybe will not make movements too much before the news coming. So that's how I will be looking at Australian dollar, but this week I wouldn't be going for any trades. So now we're going to dollar yen, and the same also with dollar yen. It had previously we had, remember, that pattern which looking like a head and shoulders, and it's a daily chart, and it worked out perfectly as a pattern, and you see it's stopped here first and then continued to this level, right? So you see this week it didn't break it, so it didn't continue the downtrend. So that's kind of gives the idea that again the market is not sure, and what it did in here, it went up and went down again. You see it's creating now looking like a double bottom. So I'm showing you again the bigger picture, the daily picture does look like a double bottom. We had it previously before. You see the double bottom when the market was changing the direction to the uptrend again. See the same here, except with this time it's not around this important level where it was previously, it's a little bit higher. You see we have let's say like a neck area around here, which actually was also important level from the previous weeks, and I'm still continued here, and possibly it will be stopped in here and turn around, right, to create this double bottom. So let's see what this week, if I would have any trades, how it worked out. We had this consolidation. That's what I was saying to you. I would have waited for consolidation around this level and see, and would place the orders both directions. This is what I would have expected. But you see on Monday straight away started to move up. So I would have waited possibly for a consolidation around this area to try to go for this trade. But at the same time, if you would look, this does look like a little shoulder, head, and little shoulder again. See, and this is important level, looks like a neck area. So a little bit more risky, but it was a possible trade. So it could have been a possibility to go for this trade. So as I'm saying, depends what I would have been doing at that point. Could possibly go for trade because we already had this consolidation before. You see, it does look, and of course expecting the same for the pattern. You see it's clear about 80 pips movement, so it was possible to get well, at least 50 pips or something around here. So it's, but I would still prefer a little bit more of the slowing down around the neck area. You see a little bit more. Monday would have been a bit better if it would correct, stay a little bit on Monday here, creating a little bit more of consolidation, but at the same time saying it's more looking like a head and shoulders on a smaller chart, you see 1 hour chart. Then there was nothing for me. After it reached that level, I would have also waited for any consolidation around here a little bit more. Yes, it could have been one of the possibilities is just to draw that level, and when they crosses each other, then to see this as another possibility to place the orders from breaking that level. You see, I'm not drawing it right now, I'm just showing it to you. So then it would be possible to catch that movement, at least to that level, right? Protect yourself or come out, and then possibly try to catch that. Personally, I wouldn't go. So this, for me, I would have been not in a trade. So right now, again, I don't need this shoulder. I don't need this head neckline anymore. And here we have, again, it stopped around this area, and once again, I would just wait for any consolidation around this level. Again, just waiting like here. I would wait around here. Right now, it's a little bit jump back up, so, and possibly again it will not create anything, so it might go back to the neck area of the previous pattern, or maybe it will go back to this area, which is the double bottom. See, so that's all what I would wait for. Any consolidation around here, placing the orders, either going consolidate around this level, both orders, both directions, and the next level here, or this level. So all of this, any of these levels, I would use to see for as a possible trades with any consolidations. So this dollar yen. Now going to dollar CAD. Dollar CAD had a very good opportunity for trades and did exactly as expected. You see, previous week it's come out from the uptrend channel here, and as I was saying to you, it stopped in nowhere, and I was expecting it to go back to that level. And exactly what it did, it perfectly Monday and Tuesday, it was sitting around the important levels, created a little channel, and it created then another little more horizontal channel. You can see we had one level and had another level. So this is where I would go for trade, and it was a perfect well, again, for orders, both directions I would have created. You see that little one, so I would probably better use one of those levels to see if it might go back inside, and at the same time continue the downtrend. So the new changing trend, right? So this is what it is, 140 pips. So it's clear 140 pips. It's at least 120 pips I could get out from this trade. It was just perfect. So that's what happened the previous week. I'm going to remove this because no need for it at all now. And for this coming week, also remember I was telling you on a bigger chart that what we do have here, the one top bottom, and I was saying it's probably will be trying to create a second bottom. It's exactly what it's looking right now. At the same time, you can see this little double top, which was also another signal confirmation that it possibly will go down. So it was very, very nice opportunity here for dollar CAD to trade. So at this moment, it does look it might continue the way down and create finally the bottom. But remember about the news. Of course, the news can change anything. So expecting, bear in mind that, but with the expectation that anything can happen. So right now you can see it's kind of looking like, right, it had this little uptrend, now it's changing to downtrend. I'm not going to draw the levels because at this moment it's very hard to draw. This is very wide and it's very narrow, so it could be these two tops used, it could be these two bottom used, and it's not going to be very symmetrical. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So for example, see, if I will create something like that, we don't have this top. If I will try to get this top, and that one is missing, and at the same time I can do something like this, we have some other missing bottoms here. So that's why I don't want to draw it right now, because we need a little bit more clarity just to see what's going to happen in here. That's it, very easy. So I will just wait for any consolidation. Once again, possibly maybe a little bit of a correction like here, for example, this week. If it will start to go anywhere like that, then I will be trying to draw the downtrend channel. So this is what you can do to see, because at this moment it's a little bit hard to do it, to be a little bit more correct. Right now I don't want to be incorrect to draw it one way and it will go the other way, plus minus. So I would wait for for any consolidations. And then again, both directions. We bear in mind, of course, possibly it will go here, create something, can create a final double top. Hopefully we'll have some consolidation around this area, and then it's both ways pending orders. So the other way, for example, depends again how it will consolidate here. Will it have a nice straight channel? Then both directions orders will be easy to create. If it will have a little bit of correction up, then I would have to draw the downtrend levels and to see would it be using this stop, for example, or that top. So you understand what I'm saying. See where it will go, how far it will go up, and will start to turn around, or a little bit consolidating again. So then it would be easy again if it will go a little bit up, placing the orders to go down. And if we will have one of the levels either with this stop or a little bit higher, then it would be the order from the you see that level again. I'm saying depends where the consolidation go to here, a little bit higher, so then it would be using one of these levels to go for the buy order. So that's giving you ideas. So that's how I would look at dollar CAD. Okay, going to euro pound. It's a daily chart. Just want to show you the picture again. Our pattern does look like worked out. Remember, we have a bit of flag, so we have about 400 pips. Let's just see if it's finishing it finally and when to expect to turn around. So we have still, you see, it's 280, so it could still try to continue the way up. For example, for me, you see, euro pound is a little bit not messy, but because there is nothing major with euro and pound happening at this point, well, again, there will be news. Will it be moving or not? Well, it depends, right, how the market will take it. So, for example, this week, let's see, would have been the possible trades. Just like I say, I would have been stay away from euro pound at this moment. I mean, yes, it's very close again to our level, and it's creating a double tops on the bigger picture where it's showing that possibly it can turn around at any moment. But at the same time, we see what pound is going a little bit more down. Euro is uncertain at this point. Then, of course, it could possibly still continue going up. But I mean, technically, everything shows us it's possibly a turning around point. So maybe we see that's why the market is very slow. It's very slow moving up. It doesn't give very good any opportunities to go for to jump into the trades, because they're very slow. There are wings out there, and it's just, for me, gives absolutely nothing to get into the trades. So those little ones I draw for you. So you can see, for example, here around the important level. Here we wouldn't go because it's between the both levels, so I wouldn't go for any using the like this a little bit of the channel. Here a bit of the channel around the important level. Yes, could possibly go up and down, so wouldn't probably catch this because it's quite small movement, and that's about probably 30 or 40 pips movement. So it would have been the break. Yes, it's about 35, so it would have been maybe 10 pips out of this, or maybe just break even. A little bit of with this one, also a bit of the move. You have about 50 pips, well, 40, so about maybe 20, 30 pips out of this movement. Well, so it was possibility to go for trades, personally, not for me, but it was possible. And for this week, once again, I mean, you can see how euro is narrowing down, sitting also in a triangle on euro dollar. So it does look like it's preparing for something. And so if the same, if there will be more bad news, let's say, for euro, of course, then we would see finally euro pound to turn around, right? If pound wouldn't be affected as much as by its own news, right? So what I would do again, you see how it was consolidating, so maybe just to go for those trades just because you wouldn't want to miss a good movement. So possibly again, if it will consolidate around this level again, maybe to go for some of these little trades, but just trying to protect yourself, because you see we have this level, and it does really need a little bit better something to show, maybe for a few days of straight channel or anything, because right now it's in a little uptrend channel. Then there would be maybe a bit better signal of preparation for euro pound to finally change the trend. But it's not always works that way. So you see, it still can continue go a little bit up. It has a little bit room again up. For example, well, about 30 pips now, a little bit lower. and we have about 60 pips down. So as I'm saying, a little bit risky, but depends if you want to take that risk to see. Well, up to you guys. So I would wait for it to see again Monday. I would go and see when the major news, when the news for euro and news for pound, and then to see how the market consolidates before those news, and then place the trades. Just if you do really want to catch the movement, don't want to lose a moment if there will be a good good move, because yes, it's already creating a double top. So that's with euro pound. Now we're going with gold. Okay, gold has had a good pattern in here, but we will here in this week, you see, when I was saying it's still going up, right? So it still was going up, and I didn't see any a good opportunity to get into the trade. So for example, personally for me, I wouldn't go for this trade, but I draw as a possibility for, well, it depends if you would want to take a risk. So it could possible to draw it this way, but there is nothing at the top. So for example, my usual both ways orders wouldn't work here. There is nothing to get for a buy order here, so I wouldn't go. But it was possible to place either this way or also more horizontal that way, and go for trade and try to, well, catch that movement. So it was possible. I'm going to remove it. I don't need this right now. But personally, I would go just for that trade, because when that move you see here, it's actually broke all of this. It's trying, you see, it possibly tried to just like a little bit of have a correction, because it's been going up for a while and didn't have a bit of correction. So it was correcting itself back up. Had a very nice, you see, pennant here. We have a very good move up, pennant, and another move up. So it's probably about 100 pips up. And well, with the wing, so probably would be at least 50 pips to get out from this trade. And unfortunately didn't continue this way, because there will be news again for American dollar, so that's why it's kind of uncertainty. It's trying to get and continue its way, but at the same time it's trying to be a little bit safe. So I would for this week, so I don't need this again. I still have all the levels, and I can see that it could possibly go back to this level again and sit around it before the news coming out. So I'm showing you the daily picture, so you can see that it does look like a double top. So it does possibility, like showing that possibly it might turn around, right? So if it's a double top, then yeah, we would see it to go down at least to next levels, right? And possibly even go down here. So yes, it's quite possible. And also we had a little bit of the what head and shoulders looking like, right? Little panel, which also reached, right? Reached the previous tops, and possibly finished its pattern. So yes, it kind of could be that it might be turning around, but it will be, I believe it will depend on those coming news. So that's what I'm saying. I would just wait to see. Maybe it will sit around here. Maybe it will be more like a triangle. Maybe it wouldn't be exactly double top, because double top would have been here, our area, right? The double top breaking and going down. So I would see how it will consolidate around this area, and I will be placing orders both directions for this coming week, because there will be some news. And of course, seeing it's, if it will go up, then I would see it still possibly would be targeting still this area, a possibility. But first we have one level and another level. Just need to be careful that it could possibly be stopped by those levels, or maybe consolidate and give the opportunity to get get a bit more trades to get in. And at the same time, so if it will go down, so we would have is a double top, we would have all those levels to go through and back to this bottom, to that level. So that's how I see gold. And now we're going to pound yen. And with pound yen, this previous week, remember when I said to you it did look like a little cap pattern. So that's how I didn't make any videos about it, because I don't use this pattern very often. And it did look like it's created like a little handle here. Usually you'd go for breaking the area of the cap, looking like, and that would have been a little movement, but it wasn't good enough. You see, it's like a little false. That's what I'm saying. I don't use this much. I would have waited again for any consolidation around here before to go for something. But at the same time, you can see it's been sitting before a good move. After the drop, it's kind of created a little bit of a, well, let's say pennant also, like little triangle in here, which also, if you look again 1 hour chart, you can notice that we had one top and we had one bottom, another second top, second bottom, and third top, and finally this is where you would have expected to break. So that's why, if as a pattern of the triangle, this is where you would wait not for consolidation, for example, but for a break straight away, because if it is a triangle, so it did look like, and this is where it could have been the entry point. So entry point, and of course with some protections, and continue, possibly getting all the way, or possibly just going to around to this area, or maybe just only getting to that little movement. So it depends how you go, but this is where would be a breaking point. So once again, right now it's still what we had here. Remember, double top, and so it's continue. We do still have a bit of room to get to finish the pattern. For example, it's also, you see double top here, and also the double top mostly like here, so yeah, I would see it possibly continue this way. But right now, if to try to get into the trade, would wait for any consolidation around this level. So you can see, so it might be sit underneath that level, maybe jump a little bit higher, but around this area, waiting for consolidation and placing the orders both directions. So next going to this level, if it will go up, back to this level. So, and then again consolidation and placing the orders both directions. So that's all my view for this main pairs for this coming week. If it was useful, don't forget to like, subscribe. Happy trading, and I see you next week. Bye everyone.